Even if your car doesn't have any NHTSA transmission bulletins on record, if you're having transmission problems and your car has less than 100,000 miles, you could possibly save money on the costs to repair your transmission. Call the manufacturer's representative for your area. You can obtain the phone number by calling the dealership that sold you the car. Don't expect to talk to the representative on your first try, but be persistent. Always leave a message with your name and phone number each time you call. When you finally do make contact with the rep, start by telling him the reasons you purchased your car. Warranty, dependability, recommended by friends, ranked high on consumer satisfaction lists. Explain the problem you've been having with your transmission and tell him you've had it diagnosed by 2 different transmission centers and both agree that it's a transmission problem. Do not divulge any prices quoted to you by the transmission centers to repair your car. Inform him that you think the manufacturer should pay for the transmission repairs that your car needs. The representative will ask you to take your car to the dealership to be diagnosed. Now, you need to understand that although he's asking you to take it for the diagnosis, there's no agreement on his part that the transmission will be repaired with no cost to you. So with this in mind, under no circumstances should you allow the dealership to remove the transmission from your car to inspect it and give you a price for repairs. And here's why. The dealership will charge you for removing the transmission from your car and taking it apart to inspect it. With an automatic transmission, this isn't necessary. The dealer should be able to estimate a price without dismantling the transmission by taking your car on a road test, checking the transmission fluid, and listening to any noises the transmission could be making. After the dealership has verified that you are having transmission problems, they'll inform the manufacturer's rep, who in turn will contact you. The manufacturer's rep now has some options. A, he can tell you that he will not pay for any of the repairs to your transmission. B, he might choose to pay for a portion of the bill or the entire bill. If he decides to cover a portion of the repair, find out how much the dealership is going to charge for the repair and how much the manufacturer will cover. The difference between the two is what you'll have to pay the dealership. Now, you'll have to make a decision. Pull out the estimates that you've received from the transmission centers. Are you going to save money by having the dealership do the repairs? Will the amount the manufacturer is willing to cover leave you with just a little to pay? Or, even with the manufacturer's payment, are the prices from the transmission centers less money? Now, you're in the best position to decide where to have the repairs done, at the best price for you. Now, somewhere along the way in your journey through transmissions, a friend or acquaintance is going to suggest that a junkyard transmission will solve all your problems. You'll hear that a friend of a friend called the local automobile junkyard, got a great price for a transmission. Then Joe or Bob from the service station down the street put it in the car, and everything's been great ever since. And of course, the savings can appear to be substantial. So with all these pluses, why wouldn't you want to get a junkyard unit? When you buy a junkyard transmission, you don't know where it's been stored. Was it outside in the rain and snow, or has it been stored under cover? How many miles are on the unit? Was it properly maintained by the previous owner? Did it function correctly in the vehicle before the wreck? A junkyard could tell you only what you want to hear. It had real low miles, and sure, we stored it properly. Absolutely, it was checked out and worked perfectly before it was taken out of the wrecked automobile. Of course, this is rarely the case. If you decide you would still like to buy a unit, then you'll need to find someone to remove your transmission and install the junkyard unit. Hopefully, he'll know how to install the transmission correctly, ensuring that it's the correct transmission for your car and that once installed, that it will function properly. If not, then you're back to square one, because although the junkyard will warranty the unit for a limited time period, you'll have to pay to have the unit taken out, return it to the junkyard yourself, and get another unit. Then you'll pay for installation. Experience shows that customers will pay 3 times. First, to the junkyard for the unit. Second, to the mechanic who said he knew how to install the unit, but didn't. And then finally, to a transmission center to do the job right. If your ultimate goal is to spend a lot of money, waste a lot of time, and go through a lot of aggravation, then by all means get a junkyard transmission. Otherwise, go to a transmission center for automatic transmission repairs. And one more way you can save money on transmission repairs: keep up the maintenance on your car to avoid the problems that end up costing so much to fix. In fact, maintaining your transmission is the most important aspect of keeping your car on the road. Change the fluid and filter once a year on automatic transmissions. A major reason that transmissions burn up is due to transmission leaks. When you get your transmission maintenanced on a yearly basis, it gives you the opportunity to ensure your transmission is not leaking. You might not know that when your car is being maintained, only 40% of the fluid is actually drained from your transmission. A full 60% still remains in the torque converter and the transmission. It needs to be said again, no matter how many miles you've put on the car, it's very important to maintenance your automatic transmission once a year without fail. Maintaining a standard transmission is just as important as an automatic transmission, but there are distinct differences between the two. In a standard transmission, the only function of transmission fluid is to provide lubrication. You need to change the fluid in a standard transmission because over time it will lose its lubricating properties. Years ago, most standard transmissions had 80 to 90 weight gear lubricant, which is very heavy. But a lot of the newer transmissions, both front wheel as well as rear wheel drive, use automatic transmission fluid or different weight motor oils. 80-90 lubricant should be changed every 35,000 miles. Transmissions using motor oil should be changed every 20,000 miles. Standard transmissions using transmission fluid should be changed once a year. Most standard transmissions have a drain plug and a fill plug. Those are the easy ones. Some standard transmissions can only be filled by first removing the speedometer cable and housing, and there are others that do not have a drain plug at all. With those, you need to use a siphon pump to remove the old fluid before you can refill with clean fluid. Prior to your next scheduled maintenance, start looking through the newspapers and mailers that come to your home to see if any automotive service shops, transmission centers, or local gas stations are offering discount coupons for transmission fluid and filter changes. These coupons can save you money, but be careful. Many centers use the discount coupons to lure you in the door to sell you a total transmission repair. If your car's driving fine, go in, get the discount coupon fluid change, and be on your way. And remember, it's never too early to begin a maintenance program on your car.
Every year, people like you spend billions of dollars on automobile repairs. In fact, well over $50 billion was spent last year just in the United States. Hopefully, the information that you've been given will help you get the best service at the best price. And in the future, if you do have transmission troubles, your car might be taken on a road test, but you won't be taken for a ride.